Shut up and sit down. Shut up and sit down.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to another episode of Build, Paint, Play. My name's Dave.
Greetings, programs. I am Jake, and tonight we are joined by Ben Marsh.
Woo!
We're going to talk about all things Horus Heresy and Horus Heresy adjacent.
Yep. Like, when you say Horus Heresy adjacent, you mean next to it in the store?
I was thinking more like the next upcoming Horus Heresy event.
Oh,
no, that I can probably talk to you about with some level of knowledge.
Whereabouts will that be?
So it's going to be in 2 days. It's going to be at my local game store, Tower of Games. We're going to do some third edition Heresy night. But no, the Nova Open is coming up at the end of August, and I have had the honor to lead the Heresy team at Nova. This will be our fourth year running it as a team, and we're exhausted, but we are super excited for it. Like this is what we live for every year.
Yeah, it's gonna be I'm
stoked.
Yep, Jake, you're playing in the Bromance Bash.
Yeah, I'm playing in the Bromance Bash.
Is this your first time playing in any of the Nova Heresy events?
Yeah, I've never played in the Nova ones. I've played in a couple up here. I've played at some of the Adepticon ones. The guys at Wicked Dicey up here in New England run a bunch of really good Heresy stuff, so I've played in that.
Awesome.
But yeah, I've never played in any of the Nova events. I usually am working the show. I'm not usually playing. So.
Oh well, it's super excited to have you be a part of it this year. I think this is going to be a real interesting event. This is the second time now that Games Workshop has given us this opportunity where we get to be the first major event in the U.S. running with a brand new edition, and they sweetened that pot this year by only giving us about a month to prepare. So I love that for us.
I'll be honest, I was surprised because when so to put this in perspective, so the tournament that I just played in was like a month ago, and it was like, well, we know when Saturnine dropping, and we know that it's coming, and like I knew that. We talked about this before. We've gotten really lucky getting the dates right because as a business owner, you understand to look for cycles, and as somebody who worked for Games Workshop, they always want. It's like, oh, if we did a launch last fall and it was the third week of October, I got news for you. Next year, my precognitive powers tell me that on the third week of October, there'll be a launch because you want to keep your numbers consistent.
Yep.
So people were like, well, how do you know when Saturnine drops? And I was like, because we just went back and looked at when Age of Darkness dropped. And then moved forward 3 years in the future and was like, it's going to be this weekend. So we all knew that was coming. So I was talking to the guys that were running that event, and that was, again, before Saturnine dropped. So this is probably like maybe 5 weeks ago. Well, it's probably 5 weeks before Saturnine.
Okay, so end of June.
Yeah, so we were it was the beginning of July. It was the first weekend in July.
Okay.
So we were chatting with the guys, and I said, hey, you guys have another event coming up. And they have one coming up in, I think it's either the end of August or the beginning of September. It's like right after Nova. So I was like, what are you guys doing for that? Because they're running Zone Mortalis. And they were like, well, we've already heard through the grapevine that Zone Mortalis isn't in the new core rulebook. So we're going to run Zone Mortalis in second edition because it doesn't exist in third. And I was like, but aren't you guys doing like a mega battle too? And they were like, yeah, we're doing regular heresy as well. And I was like, so you're going to run half the tournament in third and half the tournament in second? And he was like, just so nobody gets confused, we're going to run that whole event in second edition. It'll be our big kind of send-off event. Like, it'll be our last big thing. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. So then I was looking at your guys and I was like, obviously they're not going to make everybody learn a brand new system a month before the tournament. We'll all be playing in third edition. And then my partner, Tim, who's buddies with Dave, was like, oh, they sent out an email, I think. So we like scrolled back and I was like, yep, they did. They said they're like, tearing off the Band-Aid. We're all just going to learn third. And I was like, I guess I need to redo my army. So I got a whole bunch of pieces right here because my whole army got cheaper. So I have to add a new squad. I have 2 weeks to build and paint a new squad, which I should be able to do. I have to 2 weeks. I have 2 weeks I have to build and convert 4 Cataphracti to run as a Centurion and a command squad, which was weird because I was like, I didn't think things got that much cheaper, and they did. My whole army, which was 1,500 points, is now like 1,286 or something. So that was weird. But yeah, I mean, kudos to you guys for being like, first in, let's do this. Like that's how the Space Marines roll. Like we're just drop podding into this new edition.
Yeah, so. We're just they're hands in the air, face first. Like we're just like all accelerator, no brake. It was. Don't get me wrong. Like, this was not an easy decision on any of our parts. Like I would send you our chat logs from our Discord from where we were going over it, but they're not all right for public consumption. We kind of agonized over it because we knew that it was coming. And, early in the year when we're doing our initial prep work, getting all of our schedules down and our table allocations, the easy stuff, we're thinking, okay, the Age of Darkness came out early June. Odds are, like, we know that there's going to be a third edition. Like, we feel it in our heart of hearts. Like, odds are it's going to be about the same time. And then, of course, we get closer and closer, and we're like, there you haven't made an announcement yet, and it's May. That's not good for us. So then, of course, they do their big launch announcement, and we get a good understanding of the timeline. Not an exact date, but we know that it's going to happen sometime in July. And, we knew that whatever we were going to do it was going to leave somebody out. It was a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. And there was a few things that we worked around and, talked about as to, what's going to be best for us. And yeah, just like you said, rip off the Band-Aid. Like, we went ahead and made the announcement ahead of time that, like, when it comes out, we're probably going to have about a month to prepare, guys. So just be ready. We're going to work with you as as an EO team to the best of our ability. Let us know what problems you're having, and we'll see what we can do. Short of having to make our own custom rules, which we did not want to get into.
No, I mean it's just a little light reading. It's fine. Like,
look, if you don't enjoy 10-pound books and trying to speed through rote memorization of them, I mean, why are you even in this hobby, man? This is what we do.
The core rulebook. So the core rulebook is 352 pages.
I will say with that core rulebook though, when I was looking through it this morning to find where like the list building stuff, so I could take some photos for the presentation later. It was like lore, page 4, Introduction to the rules, page 176. That was the table of contents.
Yep.
It just skips from page 4 to page 176.
Yeah, I mean, you realistically, I would say 20 to 30% of the book is actual stuff that you have to know.
Yeah.
And in the two in the two books, the Astartes versus Hereticus, like you really only need to know the units you're running from the beginning, because the first third of the books are identical, and the last 50 pages are identical. It's just like that second 2/3, it's divided up into all the flavors of Space Marine that you want to run. So it's
all
like
meet in the middle, exactly.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, the beginning in both books is the same. It's like, here's how your core choices work, here's troops, here's support units, here's whatever. And then it's like, oh, you want to white scars that up? Then you need like these 12 pages.
Yep.
So like it's not.
We've got to be careful, Jake, that we don't jump too far ahead.
Sure.
So I'm gonna rein you in for a second. We come back. We've got plenty of time.
We're just so excited, Dave. We're sorry.
Yeah, just let me loose. Just let me loose.
I just want to say hi to everybody who's in the chat. So we've got Dave Hummel here. Luis is here. He's got his notebook ready, which is cool.
Nice.
Scott Radham has joined us. Josh says he smells heresy and betrayal, or perhaps just gingerbread and raisins, which is pretty much
maybe.
Chris,
the raisins are betrayal. You were expecting chocolate chips and it's raisins. That's
raisins,
betrayal.
Exactly. Chris Kemming is here. Always up for some good old-fashioned heresy. And James LaCour has joined us as well.
Nice. What's up, Jim?
There you go.
Cramming for the LSATs.
Yeah, he's not wrong. I mean, it's not like it's that much to consume, but yeah, to Ben's point, it's like your organizers and your event guys and your judges, you guys are super under the gun because you've got like a month, or like you got 6 weeks to learn a brand new rule set just in time for a tournament.
Not even, man. Like I got the rules the same time as everybody else. So like I am in the exact same boat as everybody.
So all right, so 5 weeks. So 5
yeah,
weeks.
Basically. But
sorry, just gonna interrupt you, man. We will get into it, but Jake, hobby-wise, what have you been doing this week apart from reading your?
So like redoing my list for the most part. I went out and got a bunch of like bits. So because I have to redo my list, I have to add 4. Yeah, I'm doing a Centurion in Terminator armor, and then a 3-man Centurion like retinue. Yeah, some of the new unit descriptors are a little weird. Like we're all used to having like HQ troops, heavy support, fast attack, and now there's a bunch of new ones. So there's like support, and there's retinue, and there's command and high command.
Get to that.
So I'm converting a squad. So I'm doing I know we're getting new Terminators this year. We're going to get new plastic Tartaros, and we're going to get new plastic Cataphracti. You're going to hear first, folks. You probably heard it somewhere else first, but so it's because of the wrong scale. Like they're so tiny now. I mean, they were printed in the Prospero box and the Call box.
Yeah.
So like they're cool. They're too small. Now that they've bumped everything up in size, they look weird. So we had some extra Space Wolf Terminators laying around, and since my guys are a little more ferally, I was like, that'd be kind of cool. So I'm gonna kit bash this with some custom shoulder pads that I have. The flat ones that look like Cataphracti pads.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put those on them, and then I'm gonna make some little Paturges to be hanging off everywhere. But I'm using the new Space Wolves are the new Indominus pattern, but the scale is awesome. Like they're the same size as the Leviathan Terminators. Like they are big chunky boys.
I love the new Space Wolf frame.
Yeah, they're like this sprue right here. I'm like, do I start a Space Wolf army? No, I can't do that. But I've got a ton of I've got like 6 sprues of stuff to kit bash, and I've got to make 4 or 5 Terminators. I might have enough points to fit in to like add a guy to the squad, so I might do 5, but they're super fun. So that it's been the last couple of days has me been like procuring the right pieces and figuring out like what I need, and then figuring out what fits into my army. List building is bananas, which I'm sure we'll get into too, but yeah, that's a whole other thing. So how about yourself? What have you been working on?
Ben, have you been doing any hobby stuff?
I've been trying to. A lot of so aside from real people work, a lot of my free time has been Nova prep. So we've got you might have seen some of the pictures, but we've been doing a lot of terrain prep. We provide all of our own terrain for Nova Heresy. Not that they have not, the Nova team hasn't offered. We like having control, and we like putting forth a certain aesthetic, and we like more than just L shapes. So we've been working hard on a bunch of terrain. We had some assistance from our buddy Mark with Goblin's Hut. Sent us a bunch of that dirty down aging spray.
So good.
And that, thank God I didn't put in all that time trying to get good at painting, because I wouldn't have to with this stuff. It's amazing. Just what it can do. It makes like our pretty good paint jobs, and we're putting in some actual effort, guys. But then you spray that stuff on there, nice little wipe down. Oh, it's beautiful. So we've been doing a lot of that, and then of course working on missions, working on getting the rules down pat. I have been working with some of the local brick and mortars doing demos for 3rd edition, and that's just as much of a service to me as it is to anyone looking to play, because I need those reps in just to get everything in. When I have gotten to sit down and work on something for me, I am working on a Imperial Fist army for Heresy. The Space Wolves will always be number one, but the fists are pretty fun, and I'm working on some Salamander stuff, and a little bit of a Marvel Crisis Protocol, because I love those models.
Nice.
Who doesn't love superheroes?
Yeah.
Are you going to run? I think one of the coolest characters I've seen. I was looking through the PDF that just got dropped, which I'm sure we'll get into as well. And I saw your shirt, and I heard you talk about. I'm assuming you're a Salamanders fan. So that named Salamanders Dreadnought,
Cassian Dracos.
Dude, he's so sick. I was like, do I start a Salamanders army? Like, his rules are so good. I was like, I would run an army just to put him on the board.
Well, fun fact, you can do that with just an allied detachment, and I'll teach you how.
We will need to talk about allied detachments of Salamanders.
Oh, there we
nice. Oh, that's a nice little conversion on that betrayal at Calf Praetor.
Yeah, we'll come back to that guy.
How about you, Dave? What have you been working on other than that guy?
Other than that guy, I did up the article for October's issue of Game Trade magazine,
right?
And it's a way to quickly paint these, like this particular barricade, which is for Crusade.
Nice.
Folks can see it up close. They are kind of body bags.
Oh, they're body bags. I was like, those are the weirdest looking sandbags I've ever seen.
No, they're body bags. So it's bodies shrouded in canvas, wrapped in like leather straps, which is perfect for Trench Crusade.
Sure.
So I mean, focus on that. And tomorrow night in my gaming group, I am running demo games of Trench Crusade. Sort of during the summer, we have like guest appearances, essentially, where we don't have a main game that we're playing. Just you can pop along, somebody will be running a game of something, or games or something. So I painted up, been finishing off my remnants of old Byzantium minis.
Nice, with their stilt armor.
Yep. So these guys are...
That is Fallout power armor. That is exactly what that is.
Yeah, it's that kind of thing for sure.
I love it.
So that kind of stuff. It's like the Varangian Guard. There we go. So on their shields, I gave them a sort of modified version of the old sort of Byzantine auxiliaries that they had on the symbols they had on their shields. That kind of thing. So just wrapping up those. So I have a fifth warband that I can take along. I think somebody's bringing along their own warband, and then we'll have plenty of stuff to run demo games for folks.
You'll have to get a game against Phil when we get to Nova. Phil's going to be playing some Trench Crusade. He's really excited.
Yeah, I've got. I think pretty much if I'm not hanging out at the Capital Palette area, I'll be playing some Trench Crusade.
Nice.
Awesome.
Some flavor of Trench Crusade against somebody. I've got a game lined up against Chris Weinstein. I think I'm going to play a game on Pete Hairston's table. No doubt I'll play a game against Phil. There'll be a few different games to be had.
That'll be awesome.
Should be super cool. But yeah, that's what I've been working on. So after that, and then I need to sit down and think about what my what do you call it? Word bearers are going to look like in 3rd edition.
They're gonna be real good. That's one of the things that I've noticed, that I think that I've not seen anything that makes me think anything's going to be bad. Like, I think everything is going to be baseline very good. So whatever flavor of army you want to play, it's going to be able to perform on the table, and you're going to have fun with it. And I love that about this edition.
Cool, excellent. As we get into it, or maybe towards the end, you can let me know. Originally, sorry, for 2nd edition, I was doing an Alpha Legion army that was disguised as Iron Hands and Raven Guard. So I'd put some teal, like in the chipping that I did on the Iron Hands, it was like a teal kind of chip, and then mix the teal into the highlights on the Raven Guard. And they were going to bring along some Salamanders to be the sort of the dupes.
Oh, their reward of treachery.
Yeah, and the Mobius configuration and all that sort of thing, which doesn't appear to be there now. But I'm confident that you can help me through that process of working out.
You can technically start with them as an allied detachment, because the cool thing about the Alpha Legion right now is nothing has a loyalist or a traitor keyword. Like, in 2nd edition, all the named characters, so Alfarius, what's his name, the assassin, like everything has all their regular units, like everybody's units are just, insert Legion Astartes, but then all the characters have traitor. So if you ran them as traitor, you can't have an allied detachment that's not traitor.
Right.
With the old rule, you could. With the deception thing, you could steal a unit and run them as whatever. Now, because they don't have the keyword, you could just run you could run loyalist Salamanders as an allied detachment, because your guys don't have the traitor keyword.
You can also, the rewards of treachery does still exist. So you can still do what you did in 2nd edition to bring in other faction units to run in your Alpha Legion. It's still absolutely a thing you can do.
Excellent. Good to know. Just going to look at the thing. While we're talking there, Jake, that you had a chat with with Dave Hummel about sizes of Terminators.
Yeah,
I think you will just find that GW has a sensor on Dave's wallet.
Oh, I mean, that checks out. Like, that's probably
if it has more than $20 in it, they release something new for Space Marines.
Sure, but like the point I was making is, like, it's not a new size change. Like, it's been since they dropped Age of Darkness 3 years ago. People were like, "Oh, I already have Horus Heresy stuff." All the new Mark 6s were slightly bigger. They were supposed to be more in line with, like, Chaos Space Marines. Like, they're not Primera size, but everything was brought up to the new Chaos Space Marine standard. I mean, the Space Marines used to be on a 28mm base, and now they're all on a 32. So they kind of did that, but by doing that, the 2 standalone plastic boxes that GW made, because before that everything was Forge World, other than those units that were in those 2 boxes, Prospero and Kulf. So people were like, I already have plastic stuff, and then they started using it with the new Mark 6 stuff that came in Age of Darkness, and you were like, oh, the guys look weird. Even the cataphracti that they put in that box are the same cataphracti that come in the Kulf box. And you're like, oh, the Terminators are basically the same height as the Mark 6 Marines.
Darn near,
It just makes them they just look small. Like, they don't look bad, but when you look at them side by side, you're like, oh, they look a little tinier than they should be.
Yeah, and then these walking battle tanks.
Yeah, like, you leave me and my son alone. And then once they put out the Leviathan box, and we all saw the new Indominus like Terminators, you're like, oh my god, like they're so much bigger because they're to scale the Primaris.
Yep.
So if you kit bash, which a lot of us do, and you put them, if you start mixing like your Terminators, it's hilarious. Like the Cataphractii come up to like the chest eagle on the Indominus. Like they are way too small. So you've got to, it's like I was telling people, if you're leaning into, people flipped out when Primaris Marines came out, and it was like, they're great. You don't have to use them. And now that in 10th edition, they're just Marines. There's no more Primaris Marines, Firstborn. There's just Marines. It only looks weird if you mix them.
Yeah.
Like if you run all the older plastic stuff and any of the Forge World stuff, you're golden. If you run any of the new Mark III, Mark VI, if you run any of that stuff mixed with it, you're like, wow, my Marines are all huge. You've got to either pick a scale or it doesn't bother you. Yeah. But for me, I was like, I can't do that. Like everything has to be the right size. Like that would drive. You can't have Terminators that are smaller than my Rampagers. Like I just can't do that.
I mean, you're allowed to have short soldiers. Like you can have some different sizes in there. Like that's what I do for all of mine. Like my Space Wolves are all scavengers. They take whatever armor they can find on whatever battlefield they're on. So I have a mix of guys at different heights, different armor marks, and I think it looks fine. But I would agree with you. The Terminators are a little bit tiny.
Yeah. But this year, we're gonna get. This year we'll get Mark IV. We'll get Cataphractii, we'll get Tartaros, and they'll have the right weapons. That's a big one, right? Like the whole reason why some of these units aren't in the two new books is because the plan was GW was like, hey, if you have any of this stuff, you should be able to run it like it is out of the box.
Yeah.
Like these are all the units that we make. So they're going to update this stuff and add all these new units, and like you can kind of tell what's missing. And they have teased some photos, but you're like, okay, what do we not have? We've got Mark II now. Okay, cool. We've got Mark III. Okay, cool. We've got Mark VI. Okay, sweet. And then you're like, the Dreadnoughts are all on upscale. Yep, we're all set there. And then it's like, what do we need? Well, our Terminators are all the wrong size, so they're both getting redone. And then Mark IV didn't get reprinted when they did Mark III. So the Mark IV Marines, again, that's the Prospero box, they're noticeably they're like a half a head shorter than all the other marks. So we'll probably see that as well. Like I know, and I also know we're getting plastic breachers this year. Again, they'll be the right scale. They won't be the slightly smaller Forge World ones. No. We're gonna get the Mark II Jump Squad dudes. Like you know what I mean? Like so, everything will now it'll be like, hey, you can. Here's all the new stuff at the right scale for you. Like knock yourself out. Yeah. So David, like save up your pennies, buddy, because it's coming.
Yeah. Josh said creative basing helps mitigate size differences.
Sure.
Like a tactical rock can only take you so far, though.
Yeah, you don't want the guy looking like he's standing on a plinth and then he's the same height.
Creative is the key word there. Creative basing. Excellent. Let's jump into the presentation. So, just share the screen. And of course, this is the point of the show where we say thank you very much to our sponsor, the Army Painter. As you can see below Jake there on the screen, we are members of the Army Painter Factory team. So hopefully we'll be doing some fun stuff with the Army Painter at Nova and possibly at other shows later in the year. We'll see. But fingers crossed.
Yeah.
As Jake was doing.
And our code works.
Our code works, yes. Down in the notes below. Once you've scrolled down past the like button, and you've click that little thumbs up, and hit subscribe if you aren't subscribed already. If you follow our link there through to the Army Painter web store, and you punch in that code at the at checkout, you'll get 5% off, which would be very cool.
Very cool.
I'm ignoring about whether to show this photo, which is super cool. I think this was Tyler did a like a tutorial, step by step on how he painted up this white scar.
He's been cranking them out.
Yeah, so it looks fantastic, and I think it'll be super wonderful for anybody doing a White Scars Heresy army.
And Storm Seers are just cool.
Yeah. Those that always love a cycle with those glowing blue eyes.
I mean, the con is awesome. Like the con is easily in the top 3 for Primarchs for me.
Yeah.
He's probably the nicest guy. I mean, other than Sanguinius, like he's probably the nicest Primarch. Like he's like, yeah, man, like he's always joking around. He has a good sense of humor. Like,
Yeah. He's just a cool guy. Just
yeah, he'd be a
chilling,
fun. I
vibing.
feel like out of all the Primarchs, he'd be like the most fun to hang out with.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, you want to go fishing? You're like, yeah, let's go fishing. He's like, let me tell you a story. Hey, you want to go hunting? I'm like, sure. Want to go for a horseback ride? 100%. Let's do that. Like, he just seems like he'd be like a camp counselor.
Nice. But I wasn't sure if I should show this photo or the one of the for the mega paint set.
Oh yeah, they're bringing the mega paint set back.
Mega paint set coming back for the holiday period. So if you want to pick that up for yourself for Christmas, 5% off is pretty good. Use that code. Excellent. Next up, I mean, we've talked a lot about sort of the decision to run 3.0 at Nova. This is a list of the events that Ben and his team. You said like total of 7 tournament organizers on this event.
Yep, 7. And we got a couple of some of our friends coming in to volunteer, be an extra set of hands. But we have I'm pretty certain that the Heresy team has the most aggressive schedule at Nova.
Nice.
It's like 18 events over 5 days. So usually we have 3 events running simultaneously during the days, going from 8 in the morning to 5 or 6 in the evening, and then 2 events running simultaneously, going from 7 to about 1 in the morning.
Right.
So our whole the position we're coming from is, we're going to get a lot of different people coming to Nova, different levels of experience. For some people, this will be their umpteenth Nova, and they've played Heresy since day 1. And then for some people, this is going to be maybe their first convention, or maybe even their first time rolling dice playing Heresy at all. With different levels of different collections, different types of models that they want to run. We want to give you more than one opportunity, if possible, to play the type of game you want to play. So most of our events, we're not a high comp, a highly competitive set of event organizers. We have one event that is really tailored for high competition, and that's the Excruciatus campaign. That's the bring your best, bring your broken, your weird stuff, whatever, no holds barred. But everything else is really meant to be a narrative, social, just fun-loving event. So we start off on Wednesday night with blind date doubles. So it's a Centurion format event where you get randomly assigned a partner and swap for 2 different games. So it's a good icebreaker event where you can go in and meet new people. That's one of the big draws of coming to a convention.
So people at home, what is, for those at home, what is a Centurion format?
Great question. So Centurion format was a fan-made format that started years and years ago. And I'm not exactly certain who originated it because it went through a number of different hands. But basically it is a format that is meant to be smaller in scale and focus more on your boots on the ground, your bikers and your dreadnoughts. So really not many vehicles at all, not a lot of your heavy weapons or artillery. It's meant to be the close quarters fighting, kind of like Zone Mortalis, but not in corridors. You're still on a standard battleground. So for a lighthearted random doubles event, that's a really good format to play in, because not a lot of preparation that you have to do to get that army put together. You can do, odds are, if you can play Heresy at any level, you can play Centurion. So then starting on Thursday, we get into the real meat and potatoes of it. Opening Salvo is a standard, what you would consider just a standard game of Heresy at 3,000 points, 2 rounds, 3,000 points. And I should throw in that everything here, with the exception of the blind date doubles, everything else is going to have an overarching narrative kind of connecting everything with some added mechanics that are going to have some snowballing effects as the event goes on. So not only are we running Standard Heresy, but we're running Legions Imperialis, Zone Mortalis.
Good.
So really looking forward to that. Zone Mortalis. Zone Mortalis is the event type that is not a lot of people have the opportunity to play that at home or in their local clubs because you need that special terrain and not everyone has it. So that has been one of our most popular formats for years. So
are you guys are you hybridizing that? Because again, ZM doesn't exist in 3.
Yes, we for the most part it's pretty portable from Second Ed. There are a couple of little tweaks that we're doing primarily to reinforcement points and to 2 of the reactions just to bring their verbiage up in line to work. And there's a couple of unit modifications. So for example, in Zone Mortalis in second edition, you were not allowed to have anti-grav, so you couldn't have like your scimitar jet bikes, javelin speeders, stuff like that. Well, now all assault marines are considered anti-grav. Well, you should totally have assault marines in Zone Mortalis. So we're just making minor adjustments there to make sure that you can bring in your the forces that you should be able to bring in. So we've got, I think, 4 or 5 standard Zone Mortalis events throughout the weekend. We've got a proper narrative Centurion event called Ghost in the War Machine. The Excruciatus campaign is another. It's a 3,500 points, 2-round, just slug each other in the face event. Again, we're not running proper tournaments, but that's the one that you expect to see the craziest stuff that the edition allows for. Friday night, we are running not 1, not 2, but 3 different BLAM events. And BLAM is just the term that has been used to describe what was originally just an apocalypse game. Bring whatever models, bring your Titans, infantry, tanks, anything you want, and throw them on the table. And that's probably our most raucous event. The percentage of players that are not sober at that table is astoundingly high, but it's always a great time. So this year we decided to split it up and again make it more inclusive to the type of game you want to play. So we broke it up into 3 different types of BLAM. We've got the standard apocalypse, so bring all of your full-scale minis and just throw them on a big table. That's to quench a forge. Then we're going to do our Mega Zone Mortalis. So it's going to be a huge, free-for-all Zone Mortalis, where we're going to just put together 5 or 6 regular Zone Mortalis tables and go at it. And then we're going to have a Titan Death Legion Imperialis event. So you can still play with Titans without having to take out a couple of mortgages on your house. You can just play with the stuff that you're playing in Titanicus. Which we will also have a full-blown Titanicus event with March of the God Machines. Jake, you're playing in the Bromance Bash. That has been our most popular event for years now. That is our standard doubles event, and it is that is easily our flagship event. Like, everyone comes in, you've got people dressing up in their finest, or sometimes their worst. Really appreciate those guys. And it is a riot. If for nothing else, just listening to the team names is worth the price of admission most years. So that's going to be a great time. And that's going to be running right alongside our Frontline Assault. If you just want to play Standard Heresy and don't want to get into the doubles or don't have a partner or whatever, then Frontline Assault is going to be another 3,000 point event. And then Saturday night, we are running Civil War, which is a custom game variant, small scale, 750 points, has a custom force organization chart that you can find in our primers. We're making a couple of adjustments, but to bring it up in line with third edition, but fun, fast, very brutal close combat fighting, or close quarters fighting. And then on Sunday we cherry on top with a nice little Centurion fighting retreat. That was originally brought on just because we needed some, that we didn't have anything on Sunday. So we threw that on, and it's been pretty popular over the last couple of years, people getting in their last hurrahs at Nova before saying goodbye. So that's a quick rundown of everything, but suffice it to say, we are going to be running full tilt for 5 days, running events for our players.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Like I enjoy playing narrative stuff. Like narrative for me is the whole reason why we do this. Like very rarely do I ever want to just like play a game. Like I'm fine doing that with friends of mine just to get a game in for the day. But like I love playing in narrative campaigns or ladder campaigns or stuff like that. I just think it's a blast. Or map campaigns are the best. And I enjoy a lot of the friendlies. Like I just think friendlies are better. And like Games Workshop has done a pretty good job over the last couple of years of sort of leaning into the idea that they don't care or cater to the competitive crowd, which is kind of as it should be. Like nothing kills a game quicker than the competitive crowd. Like look at War Machine. Like War Machine is doing a great job now, and they're coming back. And I think that they have really good stewards in the folks at Steamforge that are taking care of it. But Games Workshop has never, like, I think that they've had editions that have gone really competitive because of the player base. But I don't think they went into it being like, let's make sure that this is super broken and competitive. It's why they do FAQs all the time. It's because they're constantly trying to balance and do stuff like that. I think the best thing about Horus Heresy 3.0 is there's no rerolls. Like rerolls don't exist in this game. There's no more like layered ablative saves. There's no like crazy combos that are just like oppressive. Sure. Like it was like, oh, I'm gonna run my dudes at your dudes, and you're like, okay, cool. Like you do a bunch of attacks, okay, great, and then you do a bunch of attacks back to me, and I'm like, well, actually, I roll extra dice against you, and I re-roll them because I have hatred, and you're like, oh, my guys don't have that. I guess I'll just take more damage. And then it's like, are there any of your guys left? You're like, yeah, I have 2 left. It's like, okay, cool. You attack me, I get to make my saves, but also I have a bonus to my saves, and also I have like feel no pain. So are you having fun? Because like I am. I'm sure you're not, but like let's do this again. With third, they got rid of all that. So I think that everybody is kind of starting from 0, and we all have the ability to go from 0 to 3. Like, and everybody can kind of build their army however they want. But there's really only 3 kinds of units in 3.0. It's like, is this a unit that is good at shooting stuff? Is this a unit that's good at fighting stuff? Or is this a unit that's good at removing stuff? Like, and that's it. Like that's all the units in the game. It's like, I'm good at shooting units off of things. Okay, cool. I'm good at fighting units that are on things, or I'm good at like removing unit from a thing or replacing a unit that's on a thing. And you're like, hey, cool. It's rock, paper, scissors. We all have access to the same tools now. Like, let's all build this. There's none of this like, oh, I'm running a weird list where I gave my guys one-handed, heavy flamers and one-handed like, spears. And you're like, you can't have 2-hand weapons. And like, of course I can. It doesn't say that I can't. And in the new rules, they're like, you can't do that. You can replace your bolt gun, which is a 2-hand weapon, with a 2-hand weapon or a single-hand weapon. And then you can replace your pistol with another 1-hand weapon. But you can't have 2 2-hand weapons.
They have definitely gone. They have made list building for your army simultaneously more streamlined and more complicated at the same time. Like
I said the same thing.
It's actually kind of impressive once you like get into it. Go ahead,
Ben. Should I bring up the? Should we jump into it now? I've been putting you guys off for long enough.
Let's just do it.
I'll pull up the crazy photo I took. Is this the page you're looking for, Jake?
No, I'm looking for the page before that.
Okay, well, let's look at this one first.
Well, no, we want to look at the one before that first, because otherwise it doesn't make any sense. Like,
so you want to look
I think it is one of the most hilarious things I've ever seen. So, yep, like that thing is amazing. So the best part about that is if you read the page prior, they're like, effectively, like, and I'll paraphrase, but they're like, don't worry about list building. List building is super easy. You can basically bring any units that you want, and there's no restrictions on what you can and can't bring. And then on the next page, they're like, except that there is.
Except for literally all of the restrictions
I was like,
and
wait,
hurdles you
what?
have to
Like,
jump over. Yeah.
I was like, it can't be both. It can't be that there's no restrictions and it's really easy, and also be that it's a little more complicated and there are restrictions. I was like, what? So, yeah, like this page, the page right before this, they explain this is a basic loadout, which everybody knows, but don't worry about it. You don't have to take any of that stuff. And then here's like the basic rules and how to pick your units. And I was like, sure, that makes sense. And then you read the next page and they're like, just kidding. Like, you have to take all
so much.
It's so weird. I was like, why would you do that?
You know, when you look at it and like, yeah, even when you read it, like, so there's some overly verbose explanations as to how things are supposed to work. And like, I get it. Like, anyone who says that, like, I don't know why they wrote it like that. Like, you've never run an event and had people come and ask you really dumb questions. Like, they're over explaining because of that. Once you go through it a couple of times, you only ever have to go back to look at these rules when something weird happens. And when that weird thing does happen, it does a pretty good job of explaining when does that occur, or when can it not occur? Like, this blocks it. Like, it does a pretty good job. But you know,
they do. It's like you said. It's like they give with one hand while they're taking with the other. Like, it's a really strange way to, like, normally when you have an issue, and this is true of anything in the gaming industry. It's really apparent. It's easy to see. But if you have an issue that you're trying to deal with, whatever that issue is, you kind of have two ways to deal with it. You can either dig down into the specificity and make sure that every single line of every single piece of the explanation makes sense. And then you can also simplify it by going, okay, so here's what we're trying to do. And for whatever reason, usually Games Workshop normally does here's what we're trying to do. Here's the spirit of the rule. This is what we want you guys to do. This is how we mean it. Like, we're going to make it really simple so people can understand it. We're going to have a little chart, and it's a HQ choice, troops choices, fast attack, heavy support, elites. Like, that's really easy. Like, this is what we mean. And you're like, okay, cool. In this particular instance, I feel like they went down the let's make it super complicated route, and they brought in like legal experts, and they were like, write this like it's a legal document. And it was like, heretofore, if you were to take a war engine formerly known as an elite's choice, henceforth it will only be known as a war engine, and it's an apex attachment you have to take whenever you take your war. You're like, what is going on? Like, like the descriptions are bananas. Like, and you're absolutely right. Once you read it from a rule standpoint for the judges and the organizers, you're like, this is very clear cut. There's no like, well, I think they mean. They're like, no, this is exactly what we mean. We spelled it out.
Yeah.
But as a new player, you also have to look at it like, I'm a store owner. You have to also look at it from like, hey, we want to get new people into this game. Yeah. There's a pretty steep like level of difficulty to like get into this game if you've never played Warhammer. It's a lot.
Absolutely. Back, I've been playing since the very tail end of 4th edition 40K. And I had my issues with edition changes from up to 7th edition, and then 8th edition happened, and 8th edition took that like D&D 5th ed approach of, we're going to simplify the bejesus out of the front end of this game because it's taking too long for people to buy their first starter box and start rolling dice after they put those models together. And so 8th edition simplified that to 4 or 5 pages, double-sided, of here is everything you need in order to roll dice with your models. Now, later on, after you've built your models, now that you're ready to complicate it, here are the rules on the back end.
Yeah.
That absolutely make it every bit as complicated as any other game system, and gives you all of the depth you want, but you can at least get started quick. So Heresy is the opposite. Like, there's a lot of front-loaded complexity that you have to sit down with your book, and if nothing else, you have to figure out how to find what you're looking for. Even if you're okay with just face firsting it on the tabletop, there's a skill involved with just reading the damn book. Like, you got to figure out where everything even is. So the complexity is very much front loaded. But once you know it,
Yeah,
then
I agree.
everything else that gets added, like, you know, the Liebers are a perfect example. I love the Liebers and the approach that they started taking in second edition, where here's your loyalist Lieber, and there's 9 armies in it, full, like complete, ready to go armies. And if you know one of them, you know 9 of them, and that's beautiful. I love that. So once you understand the core concepts of how these things slot together to make this this Tetris system of a force org chart now, then it kind of works well, and I like the control it does give you while still having some, like, there's still a puzzle solving process at the same time. And as someone who loves sitting around just on New Recruit or Battle Scribe or something, just figuring out how to allocate points and build new lists and what, this gives me a lot of new options that I quite frankly never would have done before.
The biggest thing that I did was it's almost like a trick in your brain. It's like learning a new language. So the biggest thing for this is right now you've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's 15 different unit subtypes, right?
Yep.
So everything from Warlord to Fast Attack. Now, we're used to 5,
basically,
with an asterisk, where transports technically don't use up a slot unless they're like a heavy support choice, like a Land Raider or something.
Yep.
And a Lord of War is a special thing. Like, you could add it if you wanted to, but it's kind of its own thing. You don't really have to do anything. You just add it. It's like an allied detachment.
Yep.
So in my brain, I had to be like, okay, so Warlord, High Command, Command, and Retinue, those are all HQ. And then Elites and War Engines are your Elites choices. And technically, yeah, and Heavy Assault as well. And then Troops are Troops. And then Support and Transport are basically like a sub-faction of Troops. And then Heavy Transport and Armor are Heavy Support. And then Recon and Fast Attack are Fast Attack. Like, so they just like the biggest thing I've noticed in this game is they were like, how do we subdivide? So everything has been...
I'm gonna have to play that section of this clip back.
Yeah, that's fine.
to get that to bed in.
but it helps. Like, and you mark up your book, like get out a marker and like circle the units and stuff. It helps because you're like, okay, so you don't have to take a Warlord.
Nope.
But you do have to have a High Command. And even then, you don't have to take a High Command. So you can do, like, a lot of things that people do if they're trying to get neckbeardy is they'll take no Praetor and they'll take like 2 Centurions, which give you another like Apex detachment of like Officer Cadre. And then you can just take 2 more Centurions. So there's
no, you can't even do that. Like, they're like, so...
oh no, you have to have a High Command to do that. But you
well,
can
no, you don't.
to do an Officer Cadre.
No, so I mean, there's everything in the core book, just like it has been in most editions of.
Yeah, this is the one. There you go.
There are ways around.
Yeah, sure. But if you're trying to not work around it, the trick would be you just don't take a High Command, you don't take a Praetor, and then you take like 2 or 3 Centurions, and each one of them gives you line 2, so you can add more units. But it's just weird. So the reason I said to keep in track of the different units is because, like, you would only have a retinue if you have a Command or High Command. So it's essentially an HQ choice because you can't take one unless you take one of them.
Typically.
And then, right, again, normally, this is for all the people who are trying to follow the rules at home. Like, and then once you start taking your troops can unlock stuff. Like, you can either make them a prime detachment, which means they get like some cool brownie points, and they can either get a +1 of their leadership, or they unlock an extra unit, or they bring a friend, which is like, I'm going to do, strategic reserves, and I'm going to bring a dreadnought. Okay, cool. I get a dreadnought now. So it is really weird looking at all these. And then, as if this page isn't insane enough and maddening enough, every single legion has at least 1 additional detachment that you can add. So
at least 1.
Yeah, right.
You're
exactly.
an Archangel Slayer, and then you're a special snowflake and get 6.
Yeah, it's wild. So it definitely is a little frustrating.
Jake, I'm just going to interrupt you a second.
Yeah.
Ben, I've got a question. I need to understand this, and this is also going back to that head still buried in 7th edition / Heresy 1.
Mm-hmm.
looking at that chart, so like the Crusade primary detachment that's up in the top left of this chart here has 12 circles.
Mm-hmm.
How many of those do I have to fill?
So technically none.
Yeah, this is exactly what Ben and I were talking about.
So
okay, but let's say I
so
want to have a primary detachment.
yeah, realistically, so we won't get into the nuance of the army books yet, but if just starting from this page, your army is going to start with a Crusade primary detachment. That is what you are going to build the core of your army out of. And there's nothing in the current rules that what we would refer to in previous editions as like compulsory choices. Like there will definitely be completely viable armies that never take a high command slot, or only use one command slot instead of filling with 3 or whatever, and may never use any of the light transport. So, but the Crusade primary detachment is where you're going to start building your options. So, if you look at this page here, the diagram actually does a pretty good job of kind of explaining things. So the first icon at the very top, that is an icon for your high command. And since 99% of us play or can play Space Marines, that's usually going to be like your Praetor of some variety. So if you fill that slot, you have 2 choices. That high command can either unlock a single Apex detachments, and you see those down at the bottom with the combat retinue, the officer cadre, or the army vanguard, or you can elect to unlock a single auxiliary detachment, and that's those 7 that are in the middle there. It can open either. Though the arrow only goes to the Apex detachments, you have the option to unlock either.
It took my brain multiple times looking at this page to realize that those are arrows. I thought they were just squares in the background, like around the periphery. And I was like, Ben's like, we have to take you have to take a command attachment to unlock auxiliary stuff. And I was like, where are you getting this? And he's like, it's on the page. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then we're looking. I was like, oh god, those are flowchart arrows. Like,
there's literally a line. Yeah.
Yeah. I just wish they had. Again, it's one of the weird things about this book. I was like, why isn't that in color? Like, it's just like. It's super subtle, like it, and even if you blocked out like additional detachments are in one color, auxiliary detachments are in another color, Apex detachments are in another color. At least then your brain would go, oh, they're different types of detachments. Like there's a lot of like weird AI that was used in some of the layout in this, and I'm like,
I have my suspicions. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's if you choose to take a high command. Right. Then you've got 3 options for just a command. And in Space Marine terminology, this is usually going to be the slots that your consuls used to take up. So there's I think 20 different flavors of command model that you can take to fill in those spots. But for each one you take, it will unlock a single auxiliary detachment. That's it. No Apex detachments or anything else.
Okay.
And it's just 1 for 1. So you fill 1 slot, you get 1 auxiliary detachment. Like Jake was saying earlier, there is a special rule that certain models get, like the Centurion, your basic Centurion that always got upgraded in 2nd edition to be something else. Taking a baseline Centurion will now allow 1 slot to open 2 auxiliary detachments. So there's already some extra complexity that will allow you to take additional detachments so that you can field the army you want. And then you've got 4 troops choices and 4 light transport options. So that's going to be for like your termites and your
rhinos, standard stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And then
okay, but that's a troops icon, right?
So the troops icon are just
the row
like
the row of the silhouettes, the row of the Space Marine silhouettes. Before we get too far, so just for the guys in the crowd, so like Pete's talking about it a little bit, and like and Scott's talking about it. and David and Mark. The only thing I would say is it's really not that bad. At first blush, you're like, I don't understand what I'm doing here. The one thing I will say is if you take your existing army, again, with some exceptions, if you had some of the weirder stuff, like a lot of the like the detachment rules, the right of battles, like those don't really exist anymore. So you can't do, like, I have to redo my whole Iron Warriors because I can't do Armored Spearhead. If you did the Ancients thing with all like dreadnoughts, if you did, like, some of them are fine, but some of them don't really exist. So there's ways to do it. Like but that's the thing about this. It's almost like, how do I fit my stuff in the list? Almost, I would say probably 70-80% of all the lists that are out there, you'll be fine. It's just you're picking what goes where for the sake of this force org. And once you understand it, you're like, okay, it literally will fall into place, and you'll be like, it's like those hidden eye pictures they used to have at the mall. Like, it's a bunch of scribbly lines, and they're like, oh, it's a sailboat. Like, that's literally what will happen the more you look at this thing. You're like, okay, I get it. I understand now. Yeah. So, like my list, for example, to use this for Dave. So if you look at the top left, the Crusade detachment, the top guy, your Praetor is essentially a chapter master. He's in charge of about 1,000 dudes. So my Praetor goes in that slot. Because I have a Praetor there, he either gives me an Apex detachment. So in my case, I took a what did I take? I took the special one that I get for being a World Eater. So it replaces one of them. And then I've got a Centurion, and the Centurion gives me 2 more. So I added, I think I added a heavy support, so I get my Dreadnought. And then I think I added like, what did I add? I think I added, I don't remember. I added something else. And then and then I added a Mortat, which eats up another HQ choice or command choice. That unlocks another one. And then I took a bunch of my tactical squads or troops choices, and so each time you do it, it's like, if you get this, then you get this.
Yep.
So that's it.
Just quickly, the next question I have, because I'm a super visual learner, having graphics like this, I can find incredibly helpful. But at the same time, there isn't a graphic telling me which of these things that I can pick. Or that picking one of these gives me one of those.
So the page previous,
that's in the text. I have to read words, right? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And like Ben kind of nailed it. So when you take, so like one of the ones that's weird is the prime slot. So again, those are the guys that have the 6 little points on the star around the circle.
Yep.
So on the top left, the first Centurion has that. The other 2 don't. The first Space Marine has that. The other 3 don't. So when you take a prime unit, one of the options you can give it is strategic reserves.
Logistical benefit.
Oh, right, logistical benefit. When you give them that benefit, you can only do it once per detachment. But when you add that, it lets you add any unit you want. So you could be like, I'm gonna take a Mortat who gives me 1 unit, and then I'm gonna take 4 things of Space Marines, and then I'm gonna give logistical support to one of my Space Marine units, and then I can bring a Dreadnought. So to Ben's point, like, there's ways you can be like, how do I fit all my groceries in this bag kind of approach to doing this, and you're just kind of like, Tetrising your army together, and that's basically how this works. Right. But don't drive yourself nuts with this, because like I said, 75-80% of all lists you can make work using this, and it just gives you bonuses, like filling that thing and giving your guys benefits, like prime unit benefits, is just free stuff.
Yeah, so that's actually a good segue into that. So not only as you build your Crusade primary detachment, not only does that unlock detachments that allows you to, build out the army the way you want to build it, but each one of those prime slots, and there's only a few of them that are available in the core rules, but basically every Legion's special detachments has one as well. And those allow you to unlock extra bonuses. So like Jake was saying, one of them you can take is a logistical benefit where you can just basically add an icon to any of those detachments of your choice, other than it can't be a high command, warlord, Lord of War, or I don't think you can add a command either. So if you basically can't take extra HQs, a Primarch or a Lord of War, but you could turn one of them into a special assignment and force in a Praetor or a high command into a command slot. The downside is that it doesn't unlock a detachment, but you can take that extra, that beefy character if you just had to have a second Saturnine Praetor.
Yeah, like this is my special one.
Hang on a sec, Jake. There we go.
Yep.
Okay.
So in that one, you get a troop, 2 heavy assaults, and an elite. But the heavy assault slots in the detachment may only be used to select Rampager squads, but the troop unit is a prime slot. So as you saw from the previous graphics of the detachments, you don't get that combination anywhere else. So World Eaters are going to be able to do something that no other Legion can in the types of combinations of units that they are allowed to take.
Yeah.
Plus, they have access to that extra prime slot.
Yeah, that was the big thing for me. I get another prime slot, so I run my 2 tactical squads in that box up the top left, and then I put my Rampagers and my Despoilers in the World Eaters detachment, because again, it makes the Despoilers another prime slot, so they get bonuses or whatever. So there's a bunch of different ways to make the lists. Like Mark made a really good point earlier. He's like, you're almost better off like sitting down and write out what units they have on paper and what slots they fill, and then you can kind of make your list. Like that
it definitely helps. I'm visual as well.
Like pouring a big bag of coins through a coin sorter.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it also depends too. Like as somebody who worked as a trainer, like a lot of people are visual learners, but some people are audio learners. Some people are kinesthetic learners, so they learn by doing. And then some people are reflective learners, which means they need time to sit back and process all this and then have their brain take it apart, put it back together, and go, okay, that makes sense to me. So I think they did a decent job of trying to appeal to like visual learners. And the kinesthetic learners, the more you mess with this, like you will get it. If you're an audio learner, I guess you have to listen to one of us explain it, and then like I guess listen to a bunch of times. But like it really isn't that hard. Ben is 100% right. It's like the first couple times you look at it, you're going to be like, I don't understand this, and that's fine. Like read through the fun stuff, read the fun stuff your Legion does, read all the units, read your lore, whatever, and then come back to it. But by like I would say the third or the fourth time you look this over, you're going to be like, oh, okay, I think I get this, and then try to build a list.
Yep.
Okay.
The doing is huge. I like for the way that I kind of just absorb this. I went on and like I made an Excel sheet just so that I could see the names of things and I could move them around and I could copy them, and just seeing them like on the screen next to the type of slot they needed to fill, that helped my brain absorb it the first couple of times. Okay. And no, I'm not good enough that I can just rattle this off just verbatim off the top of my head, but now I can write it out fairly easily. But it works pretty well, and seriously, after a few times, you're going to start seeing combinations of things and like control over your army that I don't think you had that before.
Scott just made a great point. He goes, hey, so I'm wondering at Nova, who gets to go through all the lists and make sure they're legal? My guess is that if you check about 10 lists in a row, you achieve the lament configuration and Pinhead and the Cenobites appear, and nobody needs that.
We actually send everyone up to the 40K hall and let them look at the lists.
Oh, nice. That'll be fine.
Yeah, that'll be fine. I mean, they don't understand what they're reading anyway, so it works fine.
I will say for again, people who are kind of on the fence, I know we're kind of making light of it, and it's really not that bad. Like we said, the bulk of the book you don't need to read. It's whatever applies to your particular, Legion or faction. And then it's just the rule sections. Like, this is how combat works. This is how movement works. And it does feel a little different than previous editions. One of my only real gripes with the game is that they decided to, invent a bunch of subcategories. Like, when I was looking at guns and saw RS, my brain was like, what is RS? And all it is strength. There's no, Games Workshop has had the same, whatever it is, 8 categories. Like even from Rogue Trader, it's movement, weapon skill, ballistic skill, toughness, strength, initiative, wounds, and save, and leadership and save. Like it's basically been the same forever. And in this edition, for whatever reason, the new guy who they hired was like, "Oh, we're gonna make RS," and I'm like, "What's RS?" Like it's range strength. I'm like, "It's just strength. Like leave the R alone. You don't need it." And they're like, "Oh, FP," and I'm like, "What's FP?" And they're like, "It's firepower." I'm like, "Firepower is number of attacks. Like, what are you doing? Like, you didn't need to make new numbers for this."
See, I'm gonna fight you on that because I actually really like it.
Just before you do, Ben, I'm going to say that RS, when I was growing up, that was slang for rat shit. So
yeah.
Okay, well, fair enough. I actually really like how granular things are now. I really enjoy the fact that there's so many more reasons to take different weapons, and they can be modified in different ways, both melee and ranged weapons. Like there's way more options now. A lot of players there was a lot of backlash when the leaks started coming out back in early July, and people making knee-jerk reactions and just not really experiencing everything, not having enough time to absorb everything, and making those judgments based on just bits and pieces at a time, and comparing it to they were taking this bit of information and comparing it to the environment that they were used to, second edition, and it doesn't work. It's going to be in a new environment where it's going to work within those confines, that set of rules. So just comparing, this is not apples to apples.
Wait a minute, are you telling me that you think people are irrational and make snap judgments and make poor decisions because of it? Because if you look at the voting trends globally, I don't think that that's true. It seems like people have definitely got shit dialed in and they're not making bad decisions.
Oh no, they're not. No, it gestures broadly at everything around.
Yeah, like right. It's like
data is overwhelming, Jake. I'm sorry.
No, I agree with you. Ben, my business partner Ben was really good. He talked a lot of us off the ledge. A lot of people panicked when the leaks came out for Saturnine. And I remember being at that tournament like 6 weeks ago saying, listen, I'm sure that the edition will be fine. It's just it looks weird right now because you're making a decision with a very finite amount of information. And let's be honest, all of the neckbeard turds online who are freaking out about this probably don't even play Horus Heresy anyways. It's a bunch of like angry trolls who got their hands on stuff. And yeah, there's been a little bit of flashback, but like we were talking to some people were like, oh, Saturnine's not selling well. And I was like, the hell it is. And I'm like, we've sold a ton of that box. Like it's a phenomenal deal. The models are incredible. Every model is brand new. And the rule set's really good. At first blush, yes, you're like, it's different. People fear change. But it's a really good game. It's a different game. It's not second edition. It's also, I think, a lot more balanced, and it's going to be a lot more fun. Because now it's none of this like, oh, I'm playing my buddy Daryl, and Daryl's running, a bunch of, he thought it would be fun, and he's running a bunch of like random Ultramarine units. And I'm like, cool. And he's like, what are you running? And I'm like, a ton of Rampagers. Like, I hope you brought a pillow because my turn's going to take a bit, and I'm just going to drown you under dice, so you might want to take a nap. Like, he's not going to have a good time, and like, no one wants that. The new edition is much more balanced, and back to my original point, to call back to that, I think very clearly this set is designed to be not quite like, 2 fingers up to the competitive players, but pretty close. Like, it's like you are going to have a hell of a time trying to make some super busted ultra meta list with this that's just going to stomp everybody because you're beholden to the same rules. The lists that do that, they lose out on all the benefits. Like, so you can take all the crazy stuff, like Ben was saying earlier. You don't have to follow that template. There's a way to do it where you can kind of pick and choose and make your own special pile, but it's like your army is going to be way smaller and you don't get any fringe benefits. Whereas all the players that are kind of following the right steps, I get, all these prime units, and I get all these benefits, and I get all these free things, and like I unlock all these extra abilities, and my army's going to be bigger and probably better at a lot of stuff that your specialized list isn't good at.
Well, I don't disagree with you, but I do feel like within any rule set, in any game system that I have played, there are means to take it to its extreme, to take it to its your win at all cost level or whatever, to break it in some ways where rules just interact where they're really not intended to. And you're going to have that. These are very complex rule systems. I mean, you saw those. That's just 2 of the books and 7 of them released. So these are large, expansive sets of rules that interact with each other in a lot of sometimes unplanned ways. So I guess the point I'm trying to make is if there's a person who wants to do that, no amount of combing through the rules and trying to streamline them is going to change that type of person. What we have tried to do, and what we continue to try to do at the events that we run, is there should be some sort of reward for a person playing well, but that cannot be the primary focus. That cannot be the only focus. You have to focus on the people, the people that are showing good sportsmanship, helping others out, like that 10-year veteran coming in and playing with the person who's there for the first time and not having a problem with it at all. They're just very happy to be there interacting with other people. Like that's one of our core tenets, is like the game is not the most important thing that you're going to be experiencing here. The person on the other side of the table is the most important thing that you're going to be experiencing.
That's a huge thing. And Ben, I owe you a hug when I see you, because like you're literally speaking like things that I say all the time at events, which is whenever I start a game with somebody, as soon as we're done with setup, I reach across the table, shake their hand, and I say, good luck, have fun. Like that's the whole reason. There are so many people
before he drops all these rampages on the table.
Oh,
well, sure. But again, that list is pretty friendly. I have one unit that hits hard and then a bunch of troops. Like it doesn't really do a lot. And if you shoot them, they die. Like, I mean, that's how that army is supposed to work.
So that picture right there, Dave, like Jake, I think you would love this. So right in front of me, there's a guy down to my to the left. If you're looking at the picture, who's got his arms crossed like this. Yeah. He brought to that was the Richmond Open back in May. And a buddy of mine named Preston, and he drove up from North Carolina to support the event. And he brought, it was World Eaters, and it was like 100. He had 2 lists, because I always tell my players, like, bring multiple lists and talk to your opponent so that you can tailor the type of experience you want to have at the game. Like, this isn't a tournament, so it doesn't matter. You can change your list anytime. Doesn't matter. He brought 2 lists. One had like 140 World Eaters, and the other one had 141 World Eaters. So you got to choose. You had options. And in the second game of the day, he played an Imperial Fist player, and they are having the time of their life, while the Imperial Fist player, like, his entire goal in life is to remove that last World Eater off the table, and he did. And like, they are having the time of their life, and they Preston actually gave his opponent Seth his Praetor, like his World Eater's Praetor, like, because that was the funniest thing that they had ever seen at an event, where it was 141 ravening madmen just flying face first up the table.
It's hilarious. Like, who doesn't love a Thermopylae dead to the last man story? I mean, that's just exactly. That's amazing. But you're proving the point, which is one of the biggest parts of our gaming industry and our hobby is that I cannot play my game unless I have someone across the table from you. And absolutely. There are far too many people, and again, present company excluded. I know a lot of these guys in the chat. Like, I've played a bunch of these guys in the chat. I think that we are not part of the problem, per se. I'm sure that there's some guys that are. But the big thing is, if the guy across the table from you is not having a good time, you are not doing your job. Like, you are the opponent. We are basically in a rowboat on either side of it with an oar. And yeah, like, I want to win, and I'm sure my opponent wants to win. But even if I had fun in the game, that's fine. Like, winning is great. I just want to play a game and have fun. There's nothing worse than standing up at a table and there's some weirdo neckbeard who like has 0 social skills and doesn't want to talk to you, but is super like dialed into his list and I just want my army to do the things that I built it for. And if things don't go their way, they turn. Like, they get super sour and they start rolling their eyes and like slow playing and dragging their feet because things aren't going their way. And I just want to be like, dude, pack up your lunchbox and go back to your mom's basement because no one is enjoying this. Like, you're not here to help anybody.
No.
I don't know how you got into our hobby, but like,
you managed to fit all of the stereotypes into those like 2 sentences.
Sorry, I'm not sorry. Like, a huge part of it is, again, it's because the negative stereotype exists because those people exist. Like, stereotypes only are a thing because they're true in some cases.
Well, and whenever we have
put positive spin on that.
Sure. But my point is that, again,
Jake, stop. Let's let Ben positive spin.
Sure, okay.
We know it. You've made your point.
But so that does happen, and it happened a lot in second edition because second edition was way more popular as a specialist game than first edition was. It was a much easier price point to get into it as well. So it brought a lot of players in from other gaming communities, not least of which was 40K, which has that moniker of being a very competitive community. And sure, those people may have started that way, wanting to net list and find the best shit that they could possibly take and just come in and stomp. But it does not take long, especially at these events, to see that you are the odd man out. That's just not what everyone is there to do. People are even more focused on wanting to shoot the shit, like just talk business, talk hobby, like show me how you did that thing you did with that model, or sharing what they've done with theirs. Like that's more important to them. And so even the people who come in with that mindset, I don't feel like they last long. Either they remove themselves because it's not the environment that they want to exist in, or they calm down and they start moving over to the light side, as it were. They start seeing what it is that we see and why we participate in the community like we do.
But again, a huge part of that is on you. That's the community self-policing, right? If you play with a bunch of guys that just want to run like chainsaw lists, and like a buddy of mine got into playing, I forget what game it was. He mentioned how he wanted to get into this new game. He was really excited about it. I think it was War Machine. He was really excited about it. So he hadn't played since Mark 1. He was going to get into Mark 2 a little bit, and then he got out of it, and then he wanted to play Mark 3. So he like built a list and was super excited and showed up to a store, and they were having an open play event. And this guy's like, oh, hey, you want to get a game in? And he's like, I'm really new. I don't really know how to play. I haven't played in forever. Like, I want to learn to get into it. And the guy's like, oh, no problem. I'll run you through a game. What do you have? And he was like, I have this starter set thing, and I bought this cool guy that I like. Okay, cool. So pretty standard.
Yeah.
So this kid basically walks him through turn 1, and then he takes his turn 1 and makes all these kind of cagey moves or whatever, and then walks him through his turn 2. And he's like, okay, cool. He's like, you think you understand it? He's like, yeah, okay. So he takes his turn 2 and like blows half of his army off the board. And then lets my buddy take his third turn. He's kind of like, oh, I guess I'll do this. And then he's like, on his turn 3, he like wipes him off the table. And it was like, hey man, good game. And Fred was like, I don't ever want to play that game ever again. Like, it was the worst experience. And I was like, exactly. I was like, and somebody who was there should have been like, how about I run you through a demo game? I'm not saying you have to throw yourself on the sword, but like, make it fun for this person, because we want more people in our hobby. But you guys are doing that. Your whole community gets that, and they self-police that stuff, which again, that's what Dave and I are champions of. Like, we want to be positive and think about all the things that we like, and we do. But we want everybody to see that. So like, if you're a new player and you show up to a table where Dave and I usually play, Dave and I want you to have a good time. We want you to play the game and have a good time and paint more models and build that dude and convert those guys. And when can we play next? I don't ever want somebody to be like, oh man, like that. Maybe I guess I'm just not good at this game, or I guess this game's not that good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's awful. I don't want anybody to have to experience that.
No, I get that. Like, my big thing is, Heresy and the wargaming hobby in general has been very good to me. It's brought a lot of joy into my life. And right now, Heresy is my big thing. I've been afforded a position where I'm able to do these things for the community, and I love it. But Heresy may not stay that way. The Heresy could cease to be a supported. The next edition could be dog water. It could be terrible. It may not be good for me personally anymore. I may drop out, and that's fine. But the the people that I'm meeting, the relationships that I'm building, means that those people are still going to be there, and I'm still going to be able to enjoy the kind of the fruits of the labor and my time within the hobby, because I know that whatever I get into or whatever they're into, I will be able to join in. They'll be able to join me. Like, the community is still going to be there, even if the game that it was originally built around is not.
Right. Because again, the community is the most important thing. So to jump on a couple questions that were in here, like so James made a really good point. He talks about how he goes, I remember when I was a lad and I would go into the store to play 3rd edition of 40K, and people would just start crapping all over it, saying it's not second. He goes, and this feels like the same energy. I agree with you 100%, James. I think that this is people just whinging about it being a new edition. Pete was talking about he's bummed about his sisters. A buddy of mine plays Black Shields. His Black Shield list basically doesn't exist anymore. You can't run Endred Har and all those guys. I think what's going to happen is all of the journals that we're seeing, the journals are going to start adding new stuff back in, and a lot of the stuff that doesn't currently exist, I think, will come back.
Black Shields are already on the roadmap to come out,
right,
I believe, in October or November. Same as Militia's coming out sometime this month, and Demons of the Ruinstorm are coming out. So there's a lot of those armies that have not been touched yet are absolutely going to be coming out.
Yeah. And then Todd says, I got the feeling that the rule system is much more narrative focused. It 100% is. It's just a shame how poorly the GW previewers addressed the changes to the new edition early on.
I've got an analogy for that.
Sure.
And basically, it cropped up. I think I might have used it before when we've had an edition change before, and the concern around it.
What's up, Sean? What's up, Chris?
It's that thing where you're in a dark room and everybody reaches out to touch a part of the thing that's in front of them, and somebody's like, "Oh, it's a snake. I'm touching a snake."
Oh, it's the elephant in the dark room. Yeah.
Careful, it's a snake. And then somebody reaches out and goes, "Oh, it's a tree. It looks like a tree. We don't want a tree. We need something different." And yeah, the game gets released, the light turns on, and it's an elephant, and everyone goes, "Oh."
Yeah. A lot of it's perspective.
Workshop knows that it's an elephant.
Yeah.
But it's just going to tell you about the legs first, or it's going to tell you about the trunk first. It's not going to tell you about the whole elephant together.
It's going to release a black and white photo of just a little bit of its toe, and you're just going to have to ruminate on that for a couple.
It'll be a silhouette, and you have to guess what it is for incoming transmissions.
Everyone's going to get my Terminator.
Here's that rumor engine. Hope you know what an elephant's toenail looks like.
I do think that GW
take that approach for all of their releases and understand that we're all going to be feeling a different part of that elephant until they turn on the light.
We've said forever, unless it's classic Undead or Space Marines, like, don't overthink it. And but to that point about the previews, I think that part of it is, to Dave's point, yes, a lot of it's perspective. So it's like, what pieces are you seeing? What pieces are you looking at? But genuinely, I think the GW had an issue with this launch. And what I mean by that is, some of the stuff in the book is not as clear or as well presented as I think it could be. And we've all heard tons of rumors. There were rumors online that they hired a new editing firm. There was the whole idea that they hired, they used AI or whatever. But something is clearly not 100% lined up the way it could be. And then they released the FAQ, the Legend Legacy PDF, immediately. If you look at that PDF, that is a book. They were going to release that as a book. And I think because they saw how much people were panicking, they were like, okay, we'll feed you baby birds. And they basically put that stuff out so that people could have more options and see what's going on. The journals, like I said, I think are going to come along and be new installments that'll have new rules updates and new updates, whether it's, Pete's Sisters or, Endred Har or whatever, or Militia, like all that stuff. You're going to get all those pieces that you want. But I do think that there was a little bit of a glitch in terms of their release schedule. I don't know how, I don't know why, but it feels like something didn't work the way that they wanted it to.
I'm going to go back to my elephant analogy, and they knew that it was an elephant, and they thought that by showing you the trunk and the leg that you'd go, oh, it's an elephant.
Right.
They always think that it's
sure.
It doesn't matter. That's the glitch.
Yeah.
But they didn't realize that hadn't seen this kind of elephant before.
Right. They're like, that's not an elephant, that's a giraffe, guys.
Or the people were so passionate about trunks or trees.
Yeah. Well, I think their marketing strategy, I think, really lends itself to an audience that I am no longer a part of. Like, I want to know what's coming. I want actual formative information. Like, this little trickle truthing little bits and pieces over, months and months is not that just does not work for me. All it does is tick me off. But to their defense, I give them plenty of shit for the bad things or the dumb stuff that they do. But from a company perspective, it's got to be very difficult to plan for a major release that is spoiled so completely with early leaks. And heck, even the people that were leaking it didn't even have the common courtesy of dropping everything at once. They dropped a couple pages at a time. So it had this like firestorm effect across
views.
Yeah, they did the same thing that I'm ticked off at Games Workshop for. Like, guys, if you're gonna leak it, at least leak it all.
They also put themselves in a really weird spot. Like, I remember when Age of Darkness dropped, Games Workshop, I think, thought this could be a really good game for us. And I think obviously they wanted to be a new leg at the table, right? Like, for the longest time, like when Dave and I were there, it was like 40K was the lion's share. We had Warhammer Fantasy Battles, which at the time was still a huge piece, and then they added Lord of the Rings, and then the fourth leg of the table was Specialist Range, which was everything else. It was Blood Bowl, Black Library, Mordheim at the time was still out. Like, it was like everything else.
Yeah.
Like, they put out Inquisitor. Like, it was like, okay, let's throw everything else. We'll stack up all these books under that end of the table to keep it balanced. So when they released Horus Heresy, and it went from being a Forge World Specialist game to being a Games Workshop supported plastic game that you could buy at your local store, I think they thought it would be big. I think that they were genuinely surprised that it became the second best-selling game that they have. It's 40K and then Heresy. Like, I don't think that they knew that was going to happen. I think that they were like, oh, this should be a solid game.
Yeah.
Not like, whoa, okay, like this just jumped way up there. So I think when the stuff got leaked for 3rd edition, I think a lot of people panicked because of that. And which is, again, it's today's point, it's unfortunate. It's just because you didn't see the whole Horus Heresy. It was like, okay, we're going to show you this little piece, and people overreacted and did whatever. But again, I think now you're seeing, a month in, I think you're starting to see people calm down and go, okay, I'm going to get the thing that I want, or oh, I guess I can still make my army, or oh, now I understand how the list building thing works. So like,
how do I climb upon this elephant?
Yeah, seriously. Seriously.
Well, now they're actually rolling dice on the table and seeing that, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Like, you get through your first or second game and you realize, wow, like, yeah, there was a lot that's different, but it felt exactly the same, better in some ways. At least that's been my experience. I have thoroughly enjoyed all of the games that I have played. I just had I ran a buddy through his first learning game on Sunday, and it was one of those things where I didn't necessarily throw the game. I didn't throw it, but we would allow things to happen that normally wouldn't if we were playing an actual game. And by the end of it, he was like, I lost, but I was fully engaged the entire time. And I loved that. I had things to do while you were making choices. I was actually planning for what I was about to do on my turn. Even if I didn't have a reaction or something to do, I was planning instead of just waiting for you to be done and then getting to take my turn. And that was really good to hear. I mean, and now he's a full-on convert and like messages me like all daily now about like, okay, this is what I'm got. Can I make an army out of this? What do I need to get? Another Iron Warriors player.
Heresy is really good about having stuff in the game that even when it's not your turn, like, so if it's Ben's turn and I'm the reactive player, having stuff as the reactive player is fun. And to Ben's point, it keeps you invested in what's going on. And you're like, oh, I can't wait to do this thing. Oh, I'm going to use this ability that I have. Like that stuff's fun. Or, oh, he's going to issue a challenge. I'm going to accept the challenge. Now you get to do the sub-fight challenge thing, which is another whole thing we can get into. It's super weird. The first couple times you go through it, you're gonna be like, "What?"
Dave's like, "No, I can't. That's too much, guys."
But it's really like Chris is in the chat. Chris messaged me this morning. He got 2 Horus Heresy games in over the weekend, and he was like, by the second game, I was like, "Oh, the challenge thing is really cool." He's like, once you kind of understand the process, he goes, it really is a fun like mini game that happens in the middle of the turn that you get to do. And I was like, "Oh, that's kind of neat." So again, I think the more people that play this game and get stuff on the table, I think that everybody's going to kind of fall in line and realize that it's really solid. It seems like it's a well-designed game. Like, again, some of the language is a little different and some of the sort of explanations are a little out there, but it's solid. The foundation for the game is still really, really good. So,
yeah. And it just came out. We've got, at least 3 years of solid support planned for this system. Second edition, despite the love affair that a lot of players had with it, was not perfect on release. It had a lot of these same learning curves and hurdles that we're seeing again, like how people forget, even though it was just 3 years ago that it came out. Like, there were people up in arms that their beloved first edition was being replaced. That was a perfect game system. Why are you changing it? And those same people are doing the same thing now with just a short period of time later. But no, I would agree with you. I think it has the makings for a great edition. And with proper support moving forward, like, it's going to bring a lot more players into it. But we've talked about how great it is, but Dave, do you know how to build an army yet?
That's a good question, Ben. What I'm thinking I'm going to do over the week is, or probably on the weekend, is I'll take my Word Bearers army up onto the dining room table, lay it out into its various sections, who's a high command, who's a Joe Blow command, where my transports and my heavy transports and my heavy assault are, work all those things out. Because obviously with like Margal dreadnoughts and Gal Vorback and that kind of thing, I got to work out where they fit into those things.
Yep.
And then group them into those templates, those detachment templates, and work out why I have too many dreadnoughts.
Yeah. Well, if you have too many dreadnoughts, then I will introduce you to the Mortifactor in the Legacies document that lets you bring a dreadnought detachment, where you can put 3 contemptors in it.
Nice.
So there's lots of ways that you can kind of break the rules from the core box or from the core set, and really make your army your own. And there's a lot of units that can play multiple roles with the exact same loadout. So your standard tacticals could very easily be a veteran tactical squad. Different points value, different stats, same weapons. So even something as simple as that gives you a lot of extra options that you can build into.
A lot of flexibility. No, that's good. Excellent. Well, Ben, thank you very much for joining us to talk about Heresy. One thing I will say, to just again drive home Ben's point about community, about playing. It's about the people that you're playing across the table from, or playing with. When I said send me some photos from all the different events that you've run, every photo was a group photo of everybody who played in the event. It wasn't like, oh, here's a shot of some cool toy soldiers on a table. That's what I was kind of thinking when I said send me some photos. It was the people. So thank you very much for reminding us all of that. That's the important part.
No, thank you guys. I really appreciate everything you do for the hobby. Just the show, just being at the events and being personalities there. And thank you for the opportunity. Really appreciate you.
Cool. So are you good to hang out and run through the minis from our Facebook group?
Heck yeah.
Awesome. Very cool. Let's do that. And PJ says, nice Warhound shirt, Jake.
Oh, thanks. I try to wrap my army, so.
Excellent. Okay, so I need to stop sharing that one, and I need to start sharing a new one. No, here we go. So first up, we have Adam Weller. This very cool vampire elegant vampire piece.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
I love the attention to detail in the brocade work.
Is that printed like that, or did he paint that?
I have a feeling that might be painted.
All right, we're at the portion of the show that just makes me feel like garbage. Love it.
It makes us all feel enthusiastic and excited as we're looking forward to the future that we have to work towards these goals. But no, it does look awesome. I really love the like the bloodshot eyes on this piece. But yeah, Adam's done a beautiful job. Jake?
It's amazing. Like, I don't know what you want me to talk about. Like the colors, the even the real subtle stuff, like the colors he got on like the depths of the rose and like the trim, the non-metallic metal he did on like the gold brocade and trim on like his jacket, and then on like the sword and like the wrapped hilt. Like you can see the texture on the wrapped hilt.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure is just smooth.
Oh yeah. Yep. It's beautiful stuff. Excellent work there, Adam.
Yeah. Really great job, dude.
Ben Fail.
He's got some really cool dudes. Like we were going back and forth because I was like, I'm gonna do a new army because like none of the stuff in the Saturnine box is stuff I need for either of my two existing armies. I was like, I'm gonna do something new. So he's like, what are you thinking? I was like, I'm thinking either Blood Angels or I might do Raven Guard. And he was like, yeah, I was kind of thinking Blood Angels or Raven Guard too. And then he's like, what do you want to do? And I was like, dude, pick whatever you want. Like I'll make something later. So he like leaned into Blood Angels. I don't know if there's photos in here of his his inducti. Yeah, these are amazing. So they're in the inducti for their army. Like they basically have they're the Revenant Legion is what they are. And the idea is that they talk about it in like I think there's a short story or something in one of the books. They talk about how they're like, oh, like all the legions are using inducti to like rapidly train troops and get them in. And they're like, these guys are a bunch of like feral kids. Like we don't have time to train them to be Space Marines. And then it's like Amit or one of the veterans is like, why don't we just have them eat the brains of dead Space Marines? And they're like, that's terrible. And they're like, I mean, that's what we used to do. And because of our homophagia, like we can learn what they'll learn about it, and then they'll become Blood Angels. So the rules in the game, they used to be in second edition, if you killed a unit in close combat, they could not pursue because they were busy eating the remains of the unit. And so they still have it in this. The first time it happens, they have fear, and then they cause fear for the rest of the game. Because even other Space Marines are like, those guys just ate those guys. Like,
that's awesome. I actually had the opportunity. I'm sorry.
No. So this whole squad, he converted up, and they're all done in like the original like Ashen Legion before Sanguinius gets found. So they're all painted like the Revenants. So they're all in like he has like it's like gray armor that's all scraped up. And there's like bare metal showing, and then they have like almost like Death Company saltiers and like markings on them. But they look great. Like it's a really, really quick and dirty paint scheme, but they look dynamite.
I had the opportunity to meet Ben at this year's Adepticon. He had his Sons of Horus, which were also just beautifully painted and just a real great stand-up dude. So hi Ben, you look great tonight.
Yeah, we were chatting, and he was like, "I know Ben." He's like, "I played Ben," and I was like, "Yeah, we talked about it before I left." So
nice.
And then these are his regular guys.
Yeah, looking great. Nice work, Ben.
He built it as they should be. Blood Angels should just have jump packs.
So that's at 22 models so far, and only one of them doesn't have a jump pack.
Yep.
This is Saturnine Praetor.
Yep.
Excellent. Brendan Bell. Brendan Bell's been painting up a bunch of terrain for Trench Crusade.
Very cool.
So we're going to be playing some games soon. I think starting in
very cool.
It's looking great. Hooray.
You guys love those giant like. I don't know. What are the crosses? They're like communication hubs /
yeah.
Like,
well, they're just radio hubs or loudspeaker towers. It's basically you don't just get the visual impact of it; you get the audio assault as well. But looking good. I am excited to play a bunch of it at Nova.
Nice.
Looking good, Brendan. Very cool. Caitlin Warrington
nice.
painted up some Cathay.
These are phenomenal.
They do
look great.
Awesome, don't they? Yeah. I will admit, like when I first saw that picture, I was like, are these from like Conquest or a different game? Oh wait, no, I recognize those shields.
It's like I said a couple weeks ago. I think one of the reasons that army looks so great is think about every army that you play. My thing is always, if I don't like the troops, I'm not going to play the army, because like you have to run troops, and it's like, well, I don't want to paint a bunch of these like throwaway dudes so I can run a cool unit. I think their troops are some of the nicest looking models out there.
They are super nice. The
cavalry look amazing. The foot, what was it? Jade? Is it Jade Warriors and then mounted Jade Lancers?
Jade Lancers. Yep.
Like they just look incredible. Like every model in that range looks awesome. But again, your regular, bread and butter units are fantastic looking.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. These look great, Kate.
Yeah, they're awesome. Their helmets are super cool.
Yep. Loving it. Nice. Next up, Chris.
Nice.
So Chris, there he is. There's my boy.
After Gorka Palooza last week, we only have one model from Chris, but I think he painted this. He mentioned that he'd painted 2 Blood Angels characters on commission. The first one was Dante. Second one, Mephiston.
Dude, awesome. Who doesn't love a superpowered space vampire? I mean,
right?
sorry, a superpowered space vampire psychic wizard.
Yeah, definitely cool. I do love it.
His armor's great. He's got like the stripped musculature like armor from right out of Dracula. Like this model is amazing.
Yeah.
But Chris, you're killing it, man. He looks awesome.
Yep. Excellent. Next up, Sulin.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Working on which one's this? Is this the War Master?
Yeah, that's the War Master.
Yeah. Right.
I love that. I love that on his right shoulder it says glory balls in Latin.
Yep. I wasn't gonna say anything, but I did notice that.
Right.
And then on the left shoulder it says First King.
Yeah. First King glory balls.
Yep.
There you go. But no, it's looking fantastic, Sulin. There's a close up of the helmet.
Oh hell yeah! Great work.
It's rad.
Yeah, spectacular micro detailing there. Micro weathering.
Yeah, Luis brought that up to me when he saw that. He's like, "Did you see what's written on the shoulder?" And I wasn't really paying attention. I was like, "No, why?" So we started talking about it, and he told me. I was like, "Oh my god, now I can't not see it."
But no, that's fantastic work, Sulin. We look forward to. I think we saw the basing last week, so look forward to seeing it all complete in the next couple of weeks. Sorry, and just Chris Gorka saying I had to take a little break after the Path of Wars.
Yeah, it's all good, Chris. Enjoy.
Yep, absolutely. And Sulin finished up Logan Grimnar.
Dude, this is so good.
Yeah.
This is so good. Like the heat shine on like the cuff.
Yeah.
And like on the left boot.
Yep.
And even on his like beard and stuff, like just adding color. Yeah, on the wolf head.
Yeah, on the wolf, yeah.
It's just so good. That is amazing. The light shadow that's on the snow in front of it. You're like, it literally looks like he's got an LED in there.
Yeah, that looks great.
Absolutely. Yeah, beautiful work.
But yeah, Heavy Metal Santa is like one of the nicest models. Like he's so good.
He is fantastic.
I would absolutely run that as a Praetor in my current Heresy army.
Oh yeah, totally.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful work there, Sulin.
I'm tempted. I'll have to get everybody's opinion. So for my Centurion, because I'm using the Space Wolf dudes, the Centurion, there's an option to give him like a wolf pelt. I guess it's obviously not as cool as Logan's, but it has like a wolf skull. It has like a wolf skull, and then he has like it over the back of his like Terminator carapace. And I was like, I could get it, and then I'd stain it red so it looks like the Warhounds logo. But I was like, do I do it? Do I not do it? So like, I need some input. Do I do it or do I not do it? But on him, this looks incredible.
Do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Apparently, I look like a half-shaved almond, and I'm not sure exactly how to take that.
I mean, who shaves their almonds? That's just weird.
No.
It is.
If you have to shave your almonds, I hate to tell you this, but you're not eating almonds.
No, the almonds the right way. Excellent. Moving right along. Next up, John Steining, also excited by Horus Heresy, getting some
Nice.
Sons of Horus.
Solid. Very solid.
These are some of the older ones. Those are the first printing of the Mark IIIs.
Yep.
And then he's got them all with support weapons, so they all get the
Love autocannons.
autocannons, which are rad.
Yep. They're all the resin ones, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you can tell because the barrels are a little not perfectly straight.
All right. Yeah, that's just.
They're all a little. They need some performance enhancing pills or something.
They've got a pill for that. That's fine.
Yeah.
Awesome. And John's also
Oh, nice.
putting up some of the command.
That's great.
That was
Great,
dude.
great use of tactical rocks.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit of creative basing. There we go.
Bringing it back.
Yep. I think these are. They might be from.
Those are Forge World.
No, I mean the bases of Dragon Forge.
Oh, I thought he just cut up some little rock pieces.
No, I think they might be Dragon Forge design.
You can tell they're Forge World because like the legs on these guys are so skinny.
Right. Yeah. Excellent.
But it's I mean the colors are great.
Looking great there, John. Very nice. Josh Potter has been putting together some tanks.
Looks like
A Rhino with a Havoc launcher and a couple of Preds.
it looks like he's been modifying some of the Mars patterns to look like the old school, like Mark I rhinos and Predators, which is awesome.
Yep, I think so. I will admit that when I first saw this photo in the group, I thought it was Dave Hummels. But
I mean, that's forgivable. I understand it.
Yep, absolutely. But yeah,
Those look cool, man.
Josh, are you going to say Ben?
I said those look cool.
Yep.
I like them.
Yeah, I've been telling people, and there's some more Dirty Down stuff in the background right there.
Yeah.
I've been telling people if they want to run chaos stuff, but they don't want it to be all like super chaosy, just buy the Horus Heresy tanks because that's the pattern of Rhino that's the pattern of Predator that's in there.
Yep.
It has the rounded turret, and then it has the single slot on the front like that does.
Yep. But looking good, Josh. Very nice. Next up, Ken Hartnett. Checking out
That's some old school pewter.
His old pewter. Yep.
So in the front right, that's other than the Witch King with the sword up on the left, in the middle, right under the dagger. Everybody else there, those are all characters from the Dragonlance set from Alpartha.
Okay.
So that's Lord Soth in the back. That's Lord Verminard in front of him. That's Queen Takesis in her human form. There's Lord Ariakis. And then the guy with the Minotaur, that's Kaz the Minotaur. This is from the Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman Dragonlance series that got licensed to Alpartha. So it was like a box set that had all the characters from the book in it.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Nice.
He could sell that online and make a pretty penny.
Excellent. Oh, and Cal's got one of those as well. He says, "Damn, I remember these from the kiosk at the mall."
Yep.
Excellent. Nice one, Ken. Enjoy your painting of those. Luis.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Working on his Arachne quad platform.
Probably the nicest painted Arachne quad platform you will ever see.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's looking great. Very nice. And also a little bit of hobbying rebuild. Luis is saying that his kid accidentally snapped the antenna off. So rebuilt it with a little bit of brass rod. Jake, I think you might have said that you do that like right from the start. You know that it's going to break. So
I just break them off. So Ben was like, your son did you a favor because they're going to break off anyways. Like,
yep.
A trick I used to do is I used to snap off the aerials at the base and then get a piece of wire and then bend it. Because if you look at most modern tanks, they have it bent along the turret. It's not usually sticking up straight. So I just bend them like that and then they don't break off.
Yeah.
Yeah, now like somebody's definitely gonna get stabbed on that brass rod.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking the same thing. Like I break all of mine off too. Like nope.
Excellent. But yeah, looking good, Luis. Very nice. Next up, Miles.
Damn, I haven't seen anything from Miles. I haven't seen Miles in forever, but this is like an old school metal Terminator.
Yep. He said he had 10 of these that he's painting up.
That's cool.
This looks like it's from the original metal box of
It
Terminator.
is. Yeah, it's the big box that I think it had like 11 or 12 Terminators in it. Yeah, it's definitely from that. But
So funny.
cool.
And he painted them classic Blood Angels. Because that's what was on the box.
Yep. But yeah, looking cool. Nice one, Miles.
They're so small now. Like a normal Space Marine is bigger than him.
Right. Yeah. Next up, Nathan Sorensen. With
I like that.
cool, yeah, an excellent diorama.
That's cool framing.
Setup.
That's great.
Somebody reporting from the scene.
I remember that scene from Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
Right.
It's an ugly planet, a bug planet.
Excellent. But yeah, it looks cool. Definitely. Nice work there, Nathan. Awesome. Next up, Patrick.
Oh, nice.
Nice. These look awesome.
Work on his Sisters of Battle, his Order of Armated Lady. And,
Those are cool.
They
Those,
do.
the flagellants.
Yeah, the
cool.
Arco-Flagellants.
Yeah.
I love that they all have the brass tag with their number on it.
Yep. And this one in the center, I think, is it 4162?
2162?
Oh, is that 2162?
Yep.
Okay. It's not the one I was thinking of then. In that, one of the tags has the same tag number as Damien, who was the original Arco-Flagellant from the Inquisitor game.
Oh, nice.
I think it's like 4167, something like that, or 4617. But yeah.
Well, those are good though. There's a lot.
But yeah, they do look cool. Nice work there, Patrick. Thank you for sharing those. And Pete shared this.
Gross.
So absolutely gross. So Pete's still been preparing for his gaming at Nova, his Trench Crusade gaming, and he built this.
Nice.
I don't like that at all.
No, it's quite disgusting.
Where did you get these photos of me, Pete?
Well, it's obviously in your backyard, right?
Clearly.
You're enjoying the sun.
I try to stay out of the sun.
Yeah, this is one of those like kill it with fire moments.
It's not good for my body type.
This poor guy needs his nails trimmed.
Yep. There we go.
That's one of my almonds.
Yeah, nice. There you go.
But no, excellent work there, Pete. I mean, it's going to be super disgusting.
I mean, he's great. Like Pete nailed it. He got what he's going for. I just think it's like I don't want this anywhere near me.
Awesome. No, I think it's all excellent. Nice work, Pete. Next up, Scott. So
That's cool.
A couple of weekends ago, he had a demo game of Kill Team, and he enjoyed it. So he's going to be painting up these guys, the Hernkin Jaegers.
This kid is so cool. There's so much cool detail. This guy looks like a dwarf in the future who's like, I found the dragon that killed great granddad. We're going to get him. Like that.
Yep.
Literally, he looks like he's about to take us on a space adventure to find a space dragon.
Absolutely.
And he snapped off a Grey Knight's Force Halberd to make a Bowie knife out of it.
It's pretty great.
It's cool. But yeah, beautiful work there, Scott. I love the just the lighting on that face. Just really pops it out.
Squats in coats.
Fun to paint, indeed. But no, beautiful stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of the squad painted. I'm also a little bit worried. So I mentioned to Ben before I bought all of the books. I've spent way too much on Games Workshop stuff in the last 6 weeks, and then they release more stuff for the Botan. So it's like, you're killing me.
And they're wearing Tyranid bodysuits too. I mean, that model's cool.
That model is rad.
That model is cool. What I've decided though is that the characters. So that guy, maybe not the Memnir. The Memnir I'm buying, which is the dude. The
Memnir is really cool.
They're all really cool, to be honest. But yeah, I'm buying that guy, but I'm not buying the other two characters I'm going to convert those out of Caradron Overlord parts that I already have. So,
are you going to get the Caprica?
Yep, the Caprica. So I'm getting 2 of those and 2 of the Steeljack units. So,
Nice.
Yeah, fun. Anyway, beautiful work there, Scott. Looks great. And finally, Stephen, speaking of old school minis.
Old school D&D Efreet in his banana hammock out getting some sun.
Yep, definitely is enjoying that. Maybe he's just is he poking his tongue out at Pete's model, or the fact that
yeah, because Pete's ball is blocking his sun and he's upset about it.
all right, okay, that's what it is.
I don't think he needs more sun. He is clearly burnt, Jake.
Yeah, he's a little lobstery.
A little
He
bit.
is indeed. But
Cool
yeah,
work.
nice work, Stephen. Excellent.
Pretty great.
So I think that's the end of the minis for this evening. So next week, I need Jake to confirm this. Have you heard back from Randall?
I have not.
We need to talk to Randall, because if Randall's not able to make it next week, we won't be doing this.
That's right. It's either this or something else.
This or something else.
We like to keep our crowd on their toes.
Brendan Bell asked me the other day, like, how far ahead do you guys plan? And it's like, well, it
depends. Sometimes we're really good. Like sometimes things are mapped out, and then sometimes it's like last minute.
Sometimes we're winging it. Sometimes
If it works out,
we're asked the question. We're waiting for somebody to say yes.
But it's all good. We're good at it. It's tactical planning versus strategic planning. We can do both.
Yep, we can. So hopefully next week we'll be chatting with Randall Bills from Catalyst Games about my journey into BattleTech Alpha Strike.
nice.
Which should be cool. Fingers crossed.
Yep,
Okay.
it'll be a good time.
Yep.
And that, my friends, brings us to the end of the show.
Pretty good. We're right at 9 o'clock, so we're doing a good job. We've been keeping it pretty close to your time like lately. So,
If you wouldn't mind me jumping in just real quick, just make one announcement to everyone who's on here. After the Nova Open, I will be running a convention down in Williamsburg, Virginia. If you find yourself in the area and can make it by, we'd love to have you. There's going to be a lot of different games. It's called Call to Arms. It's October 10th through 12th. There's going to be a link down in the show notes, thanks to our illustrious host here. And yeah, if you could just spread the word, it would be appreciated.
Do you have to dress in period attire in Colonial Williamsburg to go to this event?
You don't have to, but you can.
Right.
You absolutely can. You can.
That'd be amazing if you ran it in Colonial Williamsburg.
If we could afford that, Jake, it might be on the table. But yeah, but for everyone who's I'm gonna see you at Nova. Like, really excited, really looking forward to seeing everybody. And again, Dave, Jake, thank you both for the opportunity. Really appreciate you.
Definitely cool. Thank you very much for giving me a much better understanding of how the list building works.
Absolutely.
Again, the big thing,
reading as well as looking at the pre-pictures.
The big thing, and this is for everybody, is just remain calm. Everything's going to be fine. It's not that crazy. It just takes a little bit of getting used to. That's it.
It's the elephant it's supposed to be.
Sure.
Yeah. Very cool.
Awesome.
Okay.
Ben, so hang out for a minute. We'll talk in a minute. But Dave, you got anything else we need to go over?
No, I don't think so. So next week, hopefully, BattleTech Alpha Strike. Then we'll have another week. It'll be Nova, and then after Nova, we hope to have Owen Best and Mike Sibilia from the Nova team on, so we can do a review of the show. So,
Word. Okay.
So
if anybody needs anything, let us know. Hit us up in the show notes, or you can message us on Facebook. Make sure you haven't already. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, hit the bell, do the notifications, all that good stuff. If you need anything, you can use our code below to get stuff from Army Painter. You will get 5% off. I don't know if they still have their code for free shipping. They might. That was a thing that they were doing.
That was an event thing.
That was a show thing. Okay. But yeah, we will see you guys next week. Make sure you guys get everything painted up for Nova. If you have any entries for the Capital Palette, you are down to tomorrow is 2 weeks. So you've got 2 weeks from tomorrow until Nova. Yeah, 2 weeks. If anybody's gonna be at Nova, definitely come see us. Obviously, Ben will be there. Dave and I'll be there. We'll be in and around the Arm Painter booth. If not, we'll be in the hall or hanging out with these guys. We will see everybody soon. And until then, as always, do not forget to build, paint, play.
Yeah.
Shut up and sit down.